Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. Gentlemen, aspiring gentlemen, and of course, our partners that hold us down. I'm Ron Grant. Welcome back to Season 5 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century gentlemen. Now, don't worry, it doesn't always involve suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. Thank you all for taking this journey with me. In our 5th season, we continue to showcase the very best and brightest of the Virgin Islands. Speaking of, that is Christen Glassgow. Though not born in the Virgin Islands, moved here at the tender age of 2 and now proudly calls the Virgin Islands his home. It was at ESHS where he first discovered his passion for the art of DJing, and now you know him as DJ Mars. Music has been his lifelong love, and of course, this is in part to his father, Anthony Glassgow, a musician himself. In 2021, Christen left the BVI and enrolled at Florida International University, Miami to pursue his degree in finance, bachelor's degree. Now he is already completed and now back home working in finance and blessing us through music. We talk family, music, finance, and leading the next generation of BVI leaders. It's a conversation you don't want to miss. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Gentlemen, it's time to discover That Guy Experience. We are a product line specifically catering to the men with beards. Our products are 100% natural and handmade right here in the BVI. Butters, oils, and cleansing products, all designed to add softeners, shine, and growth to your beard and hair. Visit us at Meraki Hair Clinic or thatguybvi.com and begin your journey as that guy. We are a life-changing experience. That Guy Hair and Beard Products. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As promised, I am joined by the one and only Christen Glassgow, but everybody calls him Mars, so we're going to stick with that today. Leave the government name out of it. Mars, welcome to the studios, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, Ron.
The pleasure is all mine. Now, you kind of came out of nowhere when it came to DJing and really making a mark for yourself. Of course, you have spoken so highly of your parents, who you say played a very pivotal role in who you've become. I want to talk about that foundation and your introduction to music through your father. Tell us about that.
So, my dad grew up playing music. I grew up in church, watching my dad play piano every single Sunday, and it was just something I don't know if every kid or every guy has this admiration for their dad. It's oh, what he does, you want to do too. So I started off playing guitar and stuff. I wanted as much as I could possibly can be around music. I wanted to be around music because I feel like that was my way to connect with him, you know? So I started playing guitar. I started learning guitar. I didn't really stick to it. And when I got to Mostow, they have a wonderful music program there where you basically learn music at a really high standard for free, you know? I got into the bass program and I started playing bass. My dad helped me secure a bass guitar. He started putting me onto different types of music and stuff. And I went on to eventually playing in church. I got really good at playing by ear. I must start teaching to read music. And being honest, I hated reading music, but I got really good at playing by ear. So every Sunday I would play with my dad. I got the opportunity to play with him. So that was a really good, bonding, time. And then after that, in 2015, Elma Stout, Miss Winning Western actually, she started an initiative called Rams Radio.
Of course.
And through Rams Radio, I jumped at opportunity with another friend. Shout out to Proud by 284. He encouraged me, we both like music. At the time, he was also playing drums in the church I went to. And he was like, okay, let's take the opportunity and learn to DJ. So got taught by DJs Dre and Bertram.
Very nice.
And yeah, it just took off from there. I had almost out when Ramsey actually began. I had my own show called Morning Madness with Maz, where I would DJ and all that, so host. It was from 8 to 9 every morning. And then when I finished school, I was I need to do more. I just can't work a 9 to 5. I don't have that image to just work a 9 to 5. And then that's all Maz became.
Interesting. Now, you seem to have a very rooted and grounded relationship with your dad. I want to speak about that because when you mention of growing up and kind of wanting to emulate everything you see, I can relate to it now in seeing my son pretty much emulate, literally wanting to walk in your shoes. What are some of the values, the core values that you learned from your dad that have made you who you are today?
One of the most important things I learned from my dad is the ability to basically provide and be there for your family every step of the way. You might not always be, and I'm learning this now that, I'm working and I'm, trying to get life started a bit more. Finding time for family and finding time to, you might not have the best day at work, but you have to go home and help that kid with your homework. You have to go home and put up a front. Be bluntly, you have to put up a front because you're not gonna always be 100, but you always have to give that. And I commend
I understand. Yeah.
fathers out there that can do that and actually be there for their children.
I love the fact that you use the term put up a front because while it might sound weird to some persons, it is essentially your ability to not let the world or perhaps even your family know when you're having a difficult time, when you're having a struggle providing. All they know necessarily sometimes is that it's getting done.
Yeah.
They don't know how it's getting done. They don't know the inner workings of how you're able to maneuver through that.
Yeah, I agree.
But you get it done. You get it done. Yeah.
It's like you don't, as a kid,
Mhm.
you don't have an idea of like what money is or what this and this costs. And your parents might not have it, your parents might not really have it, but you won't necessarily know that your parents will have it.
Correct.
Because they're going to find a way to provide for you. And I feel like that's a really important part of being a father, being a parent, being able to give your child everything that they need.
Understood.
Real,
I have been blessed, as I'm sure many others are, to be in a room where you are spinning the records, whether it's at the Pear Park or at an event or a function, and you do an amazing job at keeping the people entertained through music. What do you enjoy most about DJing?
I think it's seeing people happy.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. DJing is very difficult. Pleasing you, as you would know as an adult, you can't please everybody. And a part of a DJ job is to try and please everybody.
Yeah.
But it's just seeing people come together and people being happy. I like creating moments. And for me, a lot of the moments begin with like throwbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to see people like, oh, I haven't heard this song in a long time.
Got you.
You did this mix really well. Like, I love seeing those people just like, wow, impressed. Like,
I've heard of many young people. I even have some friends who want to DJ, but they're very apprehensive. They're scared, I think, to be honest with you. What do you say to those persons who are looking on and admiring it and would like to have an opportunity to see if it could work for them?
I would say you have, in everything in life, you have to take the chance. It's a race. It might not work out, but there's a really good chance that it will. And you have to take that leap of faith to know that, hey, this is what I want to do. Despite what it might be a rocky start. For me, I think I had a rocky start.
Okay.
Nothing was perfect. I had to find a lot of different avenues to make things work. So I would tell everyone, like, just take the leap of faith, believe in yourself. And I think one of the most important things is surround yourself with people that want to see you succeed, people that are like-minded,
Wonderful. Now, let's talk finance because you recently returned home from studying at Florida International University, where you majored in finance and you now work in finance. Where did that love and passion for the understanding and the study of finance come from?
Well, initially when I left, if you asked me 5 years ago what I wanted to be, it would be, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
I really wanted to get into law, but I wanted to do it in a way where it would make me a very like well-rounded lawyer. So I wanted to do corporate law. Okay. So I was like, okay, one of the requirements for law school is you have a bachelor's degree. It doesn't matter if it's in law, if it's whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll get a degree in business. At the time, it was either between economics and finance. And then I'll go on to use that degree to do law school. So I'll be, a corporate lawyer with a background in finance, which is what I ended up doing. But throughout the time, in college, I realized like, hey, I really enjoy these classes.
Nice.
I feel like there's a lot of things that we are not taught, but it's knowledge to other people, and a lot of like the 1% of it's knowledge to them. And I just enjoyed understanding how money works, how the banking industry works and so forth. And so I decided like, hey, the chances of me actually being able to afford law school is very low. And I really like finance. So I think this is where I'm going to stay,
Okay.
and I think honestly speaking, it wasn't until a few months ago that I came to the realization like, wow, I really like this. And I made the right choice in choosing this and sticking to it.
I'm happy that you
Yeah.
feel that way. Good. Awesome. No, I want to talk about the next generation of leadership. There are persons like yourself, not only in entertainment, but in finance, who essentially, in my opinion and my view, are leading the way to be the next generation of leaders across the territory. When you look at the Virgin Islands, and yes, we mentioned you weren't born here, but it is your home because you lived here since you were 2. Where do you see yourself fitting in that scope of next generation leadership?
Well, one of the reasons that I came back home, because it is home for me,
Mhm.
I've spent my entire life there, is because I've seen a lot of gaps that can be filled within the finance space. I also spoke to a lot of different people about it. But the Virgin Islands can be like one of our pillars is finance,
Mhm.
but we can do a lot more with finance, especially with helping our citizens and our people to get access to, the capital and stuff. But I feel like the knowledge of personal finance and financial literacy is not really where it needs to be. And that's not just in the Virgin Islands. That's a lot of parts in the world.
I agree.
Financial literacy is not taught in school unless you like this is something that you find on YouTube or you find on TikTok and you get into it.
Mhm.
But other than that, you don't really it's not really taught in school. So for me, coming back home, one of the things I wanted to work on is avenue or in the form of a podcast so that we can, educate. When I went to school and I learned this, some people might have the opportunity to learn it. So I want to bring it and relate it to things that we have here in the Virgin Islands. I saw a post the other day. People are interested in investing. They don't know how to invest on the Virgin Islands. But I have this knowledge. I know how to do it. I've been doing it for myself. So it's like, okay, I have this knowledge. I want to take it out there. I feel like if all people can get access to wealth outside of their 9 to 5, the Virgin Islands on a whole it would grow.
So I'm gonna hold you to that because you spoke about the podcast, and I think it would be very instrumental in starting that narrative, just like you said about financial literacy. So we're gonna set a time frame and have you get that podcast rolling.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll agree.
Good. Viewers, we're talking with the one and only the man himself, DJ Mars, who is doing quite a bit, not only on the entertainment scene but finance as well. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman with yours truly, Ron Grant, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 5, a 284 Media production. Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Sonny boy, come, yes,
Good
son.
morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay. I'll take care of it.
What? No man forget can.
How may I assist you?
Listen.
You want to talk about what?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. We are in season 5 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman. I am joined by the one and only, the man himself, DJ Mars, who is making quite an impact, I would say, on the entertainment scene and finance. I want to go back to the financial literacy and the understanding of how it all works for young persons. What do you think from your seat right now? What would you say is like the biggest misconception that persons of our age demographic seem to struggle with when it comes to finances?
Something called a rat race.
Okay.
So what that basically is let's say you make $30,000. Your living expenses are within that $30,000. But let's say next year you get a raise, you're making 45. Now because you have access to more money, your expenses will go up with that money, you know, and then that's always gonna always be. You'll always be chasing more money. It's not gonna always be enough. So I feel like that's one of the big, and I struggle with that too. I have access to more money and it's like, oh, I like this. Let me go buy this, you know? And it's like, you're never going to be happy.
Understood.
You're never going to be content, and it's a race. You're always chasing the cheese.
Always
chasing the money, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions.
Powerful. Very, very powerful. And what would you say to, because you have a lot of young persons who are interested in business, a lot of small businesses, a lot of persons who are really making waves in that space. When it comes to the small business aspect, what would you say to them in regards to making sure that not only personally finance-wise, but on a business school, they're not essentially in a rat race?
So one of the things that I'm personally doing with, you know, my DJing, with finance, with my 9 to 5, is budgeting. I feel like the power of budgeting and putting something on paper is so much more than, you know, a mental budget to me does not work.
Agreed.
I have an Excel sheet.
There's not such a thing as a mental
Yeah.
budget.
I have an Excel spreadsheet that I say, okay, these are my sources of income. This is what I'm willing to spend. First, I when I need to save. There's our rule where I at least try to pass 20%.
Okay.
To saving and investing, and then, you know, 50% will go to my needs, that's rent, that's other things, and 50 and the other 30% is your wants. You know?
Gotcha.
You have to have fun.
Okay.
You're making money. You have
make
to
some
have fun.
space for desirable initiatives and things you want to do, and kind of treat yourself now and again. Okay.
But to me, after I have this budget, I know, okay, at the end of the year, this is how much I want to have invested, this is how much I want to have saved, and to me, that's why it encourages me to continue going and continue sticking to my budget. Because when I see, you know, these accounts grow, it's like, you see progress. It's like going to the gym. You go to the gym and you see progress, you want to go more because it's like results. You get this rush in your head. It's like, it's working, let's continue.
Nice.
You know, so I feel like sitting long and to really start with your finances is what helps.
Amazing. You talked about just now motivation, and I want to go back to that word, because essentially a huge part of our lives has to do with motivation. Is there anyone throughout your young life who you would say played a very, very pivotal role in being of motivation, or do you have any mentors?
Within the DJ space, Bertram and Dre played a really crucial role in getting me involved and, you know, guiding me. So anything that I had, I remember at a point in time, literally anything in DJing I had an issue with, I would call Bertram and be like, hey, you know, this is the situation, how would you go about it?
Good.
And then I feel like that, once again, I mentioned all that too, your circle to me ultimately like guides you to where you're going to be.
Very true. Very true.
So surrounding yourself with like-minded people and people that want to see you success, or people that have been through the same path as you. That's what really helps. In the finance space, as of right now, I don't have a mentor, or someone that someone I'm actively looking for. But I do have friends that are on a similar path. You know, they want financial freedom, they want this. So that's what keeps me motivated. I have a chat with some friends who they trade every day, they're investors. Like, I might not be into it today, but because I see a notification, it's like,
Yeah.
reminds me like, hey, go and check this. Remember, you have to focus on this area too. So your circle to me is your biggest motivator.
Powerful, and thank you for sharing that, because I don't think a lot of persons necessarily understand that. As much as they should, your circle is pretty much a reflection of yourself. And as we always hear, iron sharpens iron. So you got to keep that level of energy around you in order to succeed.
Yeah, I remember around in college, I have this roommate. He did marine biology. He didn't want to do anything about, you know, he didn't care about the money. He just wanted the environment. And then as, you know, we started having conversations at the end of his degree, he was like, yo, he came to me, he was like, yo, I really want to thank you because like all conversations helped me to see that, okay, yeah, I want to make a change in the world, but if I can take care of my expenses, it will help me to focus more on that. And it's like, you know, your surroundings really help you to grow.
I want to talk about college because you seem to have been the it guy on the campus, particularly when it came to DJing and hosting parties. Tell me about that experience and your ability to use the platform of a college campus to really harness your talents.
So when I first moved to the States, I wanted to focus on DJing and school at the same time. It didn't work out that way, but to begin, I had roommates that were, especially one of them, shout out to Ray. He was very like outgoing. I remember the first time I walked up, I took my like DJ stuff, and I saw my equipment, and I was like, oh, you're a DJ? Okay, cool. Because of parties. And then I remember, I wouldn't say forced, but they encouraged me a lot, like, hey, let's get serious and let's throw a party. So we had homecoming. After the homecoming concert, we threw our first party, and it was like very well attended. And we continued like every 2 weeks we would throw a party, and it became to the point where I would walk the campus and be like, oh, DJ Maz, when's the next party? We have this football game for you guys want a party. And it's like, it was kind of like, I had to step back for a minute. It was like, wow, you know, damn, like we really like.
You're creating something.
Yeah. The campus didn't have much going on. And then to think that people are looking forward to our parties. And it also helped me as a DJ because American style of DJing and music is different than what we were playing on a regular. So I had to go back to the basics and do a lot of research. And
to accommodate that audience. Yeah.
So I had to really mix it up because Miami is is a melting pot of cultures. You know, there's a large Hispanic community, there's a Caribbean community, and of course there's, you know, the full-blown Americans.
Yeah.
So you have to cater to everybody. And that DJing on campus helped me to gain other opportunities. I ended up DJing for other like universities. I ended up DJing at Shots Miami, which is a club downtown. And it really opened my eyes to, you know, the possibilities of what's out there.
Amazing. No, what would you say is next for Christen?
Christen or Maz?
Let's start with Christen.
So, as I mentioned, like, one of the things that I want to do is start my podcast to begin with. I'm going to partner with a fellow finance student that came back and is looking to do the same thing. So that we could try to educate people and try to create avenues for people to achieve their goals through finance. And of course, you know, still try to focus a bit on my career and see where that journey takes me.
And then for Mars.
For Mars, so now that I'm back, it's like I feel like I'm starting back over because I mentioned like for the past, like I would say past year, I wasn't really focusing on DJing. I really had to put it behind to finish up my studies. And now that I'm back, I feel like I'm starting from scratch. It's like learning to ride a bike all over.
Okay.
But I'm surrounding myself with the right people again. To have some collaborations coming up with people like Hashi in the Dream. And of course, still working with Fuse and so forth. So I'm trying to hit the ground running. You know, while the season is slow for the next few months, still work on some stuff so that when it picks up again, you know, Maz is there.
Awesome. On the creative space, as a creative, which I do consider you a creative, is there anyone, doesn't have to be local, but across the scene when it comes to that space of creating content or music? Anyone that you admire, that you look up to, and you kind of look at their talent and you enjoy their work?
In the finance space specifically, there is this guy, Doyle from Miami, who
Okay.
does trading and so forth. That apart from the trading, he also teaches a lot of like lessons, which is, he is heavy on, surrounding yourself with the right people to get to the right places, get into the right rooms. And that's one of the things that I'm learning from them. In terms of general content creating in the versions, I want to shout out, Kyra James for
Yes.
kicking it with Kyra.
Yes.
Cause I've been,
lovely choice.
yeah, like I've been looking at the content that she puts out and the quality of content that she puts out. And it's like, I love the fact that it's tailored to the versions, which is when I start, podcast, I want to be tailored to the versions because this is
Yeah.
where we call home. These are
Yeah.
people that we see every day, people that we hang out with every day. These are people that we want to excel also. If everybody excel,
Mm-hmm.
we all too.
One of the beautiful things, and I love that you chose Kyra, because one of the beautiful things with her selection of keeping it Virgin Islands, it gives us a unique opportunity to showcase our rich culture and history as well as heritage, and she does it in such a really, really good way. And shout out to Kyra in regards to that. Now that we're on Virgin Islands culture, I got a few questions that I need to ask you. So do you have a local favorite drink? It could be soft or liquor.
Local drink in terms of, okay, we said soft or liquor. I personally, local in terms of alcohol, I like cane rum.
Okay.
I could, shot cane rum. It's not like, well, no alcohol is really the best taste in alcohol, but in terms of something that's made locally, I enjoy cane rum. Also, BVI, vodka.
Cool.
BVI jam.
Cool.
And then soft drink wise, I don't know. Every time I go to a restaurant and I ask for local drinks, I want something like passion fruit
I
juice
agree.
or lemonade or something that's like
I got
just
you.
made here.
Yeah.
But
Awesome. Do you have a favorite sister island?
I think it would be just my lake.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
JVD is cool.
I maybe it's because I associate just one night with like the turn up and the party. You go there just like you have a good time and you leave and you go home.
Got you. Favorite local cuisine?
I think it would be a breakfast food, which would be Johnny Cake.
Excellent choice. Yeah. Excellent choice. Is there someone from Virgin Islands culture, history, or heritage that has passed away? They're no longer with us. That if you had the opportunity to take them to breakfast or lunch, who would you choose, and why?
That's a really good question.
It could even be a family member that you've lost.
I think I actually never thought about that. And now that you ask, I think it would be Honorable Levity Stout. And I think it would mostly be because of, vision wise. Vision for the Virgin Islands. One of the things that I would want to ask is like, hey, this is let me get you caught up on what's been happening in Virgin Islands. So what's your take on it?
Love it. Yeah.
And maybe ask where we could go from here.
That is not only an excellent choice, but if he were still with us, I'm sure that he would have he would be the key person to call and ask for some advice. Yeah. Excellent. Mars, I want to take this opportunity to publicly commend you on the job that you're doing in regards to being a distinguished gentleman and a young professional at that. Doing something different, of course, when it comes to creatives. Persons are sometimes apprehensive. They're like, that's a waste of your time. It's not going to make any money. But you've been really doing a damn thing when it comes to DJing. And congratulations on your recent completion of your bachelor's degree. And we're so happy to have you back home and back contributing. So thank you.
Appreciate you very much.
Absolutely, man. Viewers, you heard it here from the one and only DJ Mars, who's doing incredible things. Season 5, of course, again, we are bringing to you the very best and brightest of the Virgin Islands different industries, and I'm so immensely proud. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.